Tonight on KGW News.
Having a formal recorded record of what actually happened, I think protects everybody's interest.
Body-worn cameras are finally coming to the Portland Police Bureau. What's in the new agreement and how soon you might see them on officers. A reimagined riverfront for downtown Salem. The new vision to turn the banks of the Willamette into a destination district. Why Governor Tina Kotek is asking the federal government to declare a fishery resource disaster for the Oregon coast. But first,
it could happen to anyone, anywhere. You never really know.
Dozens of car windows smashed, 2 homes broken into, and it all happened on a quiet street in West Lynn. How the neighborhood is reacting. Good evening. We start tonight with a big crime spree in West Lynn. Dozens of neighbors woke up to find their car windows smashed in, and in some cases, their homes had also been broken into. Catherine Cook spoke with some of the victims and has a description of the suspects.
Pile after pile of broken glass in West Lynn. It's not what neighbors here are used to or what they expected, but on Friday, it's what they woke up to.
When I came out here, there was glass all over the road. My car driver's window got smashed in.
Paul Silverio lives on Imperial Drive, maybe the hardest hit street in the overnight crime spree. West Lynn police took at least 50 reports of car break-ins and 2 home burglaries. They say several other victims live on Pimlico Drive and Coeur d'Alene Drive.
My roommate's car got both windows smashed. Kind of sucked for her.
Most of them, it was just one window smashed in, and this one had both. I have no idea why they did that, but...
In both of these cases, the crooks didn't steal anything. Fortunately, there weren't any valuables inside to take.
We were just all confused, didn't know why they were doing this, or it seemed very planned.
So far, investigators have identified at least 4 suspects they think are tied to this case. They're described as young males in their late teens to early 20s. They were wearing hooded sweatshirts with masks and gloves and may have been driving a white Chevy Suburban with aftermarket tires. They're asking any neighbors around here who might have had Ring camera video to share it with police. And they want anyone with information on this case to reach out.
That'd sure be nice if they could find them and, help me afford the new windows.
Wow. As repair crews move from one broken window to the next, neighbors like Paul just shake their heads. This wasn't supposed to happen here, but now it's clear.
It could happen to anyone, anywhere. You never really know.
In West Lynn, Catherine Cook, KGW News.
Let's get you caught up on tonight's other headlines. The Supreme Court is preserving access to the key abortion drug mifepristone for now. Today, the justices granted emergency requests from the Biden administration and the drug's maker. They're appealing a lower court's ruling in Texas that would roll back FDA approval of the drug. Mifepristone has been approved since 2000 and used by more than 5 million people. Today, Portland Public School students and others participated in a youth climate strike. They left class today and marched from the convention center to Pioneer Courthouse Square. They're protesting the expansion of a natural gas pipeline that runs from Canada through the Pacific Northwest and into California. They want the governor to make sure all future energy plans are environmentally friendly. And a new study takes a look at how much tear gas Portland police used against people during the racial justice protests in the summer of 2020. It shows the concentration of tear gas was far above safe levels. The study was conducted by Forensic Architecture, a research firm based in London, which said the concentration of tear gas in the air was hundreds to thousands of times higher than the safe levels established by OSHA. Portland police say they are not commenting on the study due to pending litigation. Now to an update on an agreement between the city of Portland and the police union over body-worn cameras. We brought this to you as breaking news last night here at 11. Portland has been the largest city in the country without body cams for its officers. And as reporter Evan Watson explains, it still needs city council approval before it can finally move forward.
After years of delays and disagreements, the City of Portland and the police union finally have a deal in place for police officers to wear body cameras. The agreement needs City Council approval, but Mayor Ted Wheeler says he expects it to pass.
I think it's a really common sense approach, I think most people will look at it and say, yeah, that makes sense. We should move forward. We've waited a long time for body-worn cameras, and I believe we will be implementing them in the next couple of months.
The city and police union were stuck on one big issue. Should police officers be able to watch body camera videos before writing reports or being interviewed by investigators?
Cameras aren't perfect.
Police union president Aaron Schmout says in the most serious cases, when an officer uses deadly force or force that causes serious injury, they'll have to give an interview or statement first.
By doing an interview where the interviewer and the interviewee both have not watched a video that might pollute their kind of perception of an incident, you do that interview, and then you move and you go and watch the video and then complete the interview answering any questions that might not have been answered in the first piece of it.
Schmout says in more minor cases, officers can use their videos to help write their reports.
You said body cameras are not a panacea, but they are part of the solution. What is your expectation here?
So, I think now moving forward, the community will have a deeper breadth of understanding about what our police officers and what our community are experiencing every day.
The U.S. Department of Justice has given conditional approval for this body-worn camera pilot project. The Portland Police Bureau plans to give cameras to its focused intervention team and central precinct officers to start, with the goal of every officer using a camera by the end of the year. Wheeler says it's a big step up in accountability.
And so having a formal recorded record of what actually happened, I think protects everybody's interests. It protects the interests of the public, and it protects the interests of the men and women in the Portland Police Bureau. So this, from my perspective, is a no-brainer. It's a slam dunk. It's a win-win.
Schmout says it's been unacceptable that Portland officers haven't had body cameras up until now, but this compromise shows progress.
My hope and my belief is that this will build both accountability and trust in a system that heard the concerns and landed on a place that we can all support.
Evan Watson, KGW News.
Multnomah County Animal Services is changing its policies following a recent dog attack. Cheryl Wakerhauser, the owner of Bakery Picks Patisserie, says an unleashed pit bull mauled her while she was running in southeast Portland. Authorities say the dog's owner is a homeless man named Jesse Miller. Following the attack, the dog was supposed to quarantine for 10 days at Miller's mom's home in Camas. However, they say Miller came back and took the dog while she was at work. So from now on, pets will not be eligible for home quarantine in certain cases. That depends on the severity of the bite, whether the pet was loose when the bite happened, if it was previously designated as dangerous, or if its rabies vaccination is not current. Now to the Oregon coast, where a key industry is facing a big problem. Governor Tina Kotek is asking the federal government to declare a fishery resource disaster. That's because salmon populations are struggling this year. The National Marine Fisheries Service is expected to close all commercial Chinook salmon fisheries from Cape Falcon on the North Oregon coast all the way to California. And that will last through August and will be a big loss, as you can imagine, for the industry. A federal disaster declaration would help deal with the financial blow. And Washington is also working to save salmon and will get millions of dollars in funding to do that. Senator Maria Cantwell and the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration made that announcement today. Grants will pay for more than a dozen different environmental projects. In addition to restoring salmon habitat, they'll also remove invasive green crabs and save endangered orcas. Senator Cantwell called the move an investment in Washington's future.
Washington State is one of the top states to receive funds, I think, today, and that's because we're on the front line of climate change. We need to continue to do more to invest in our coastal communities to help them better prepare for the future. But we're very excited about the amount of investment following on what was a historic $2.85 billion investment in salmon recovery and ecosystem as part of the infrastructure law.
The various projects will also make Washington more resilient in the face of flooding, improve water quality, and enhance tribal fisheries. A heads up for drivers tonight. Inspections will close two busy freeways in Portland. The first one affects the lower deck of the Fremont Bridge. More than 2 hours ago, I-405 North closed on the lower deck and will stay closed until 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. The second closure involves I-5 South on the lower deck of the Markham Bridge. Inspectors will be there from Sunday night at 10 through Monday morning at 5. Drivers will have to detour onto I-405 South.